The important parts of female reproductive system are a pair of ovaries, a pair of fallopian tubes, uterus, vagina. The functional mammary glands also integrate with female reproductive system. The ovaries are located in the abdominal cavity. The ova develops in tiny cellular structure called fossils. These fossils first look like cellular bubbles in the ovary. These bubbles are also called Graafian fossils. As these fossils grow, it develops a cavity filled with fluid. Each fossil contains only one ovum. This is formed after the process of cell division and its meiosis chromosome reduced into half. When an ovum becomes mature, the fossil ruptures at the surface of the ovary and the tiny ovum is flushed out. At this stage, ovum can be called as egg. This release of the egg or ovum is called ovulation. As we discussed before, ovum is flushed out from the ovary. This ovum must enter the widened funnel of an ovident, which is simply called fallopian tube. This tube extends from the neighborhood of an ovary to the muscular thick-walled uterus. When an egg leaves the ovary and enters the fallopian tube and then travels through the fallopian tube and attaches to the uterus, then the fertilization occurs. And now the new life begins. Usually a single sperm fertilizes a single ovum. Thus a zygote is formed. The zygote undergoes mitotic divisions while traveling down in the fallopian tubes. By the time it reaches the uterus and transforms into a solid ball of cells. Usually uterus is in the shape of inverted pear. These yellow colored lines in the uterus is called endometrium. This is a layer. The thickness of these layers increases gradually soon after menstruation. It will be ready to receive the embryo. If there is no fertilization, the endometrium disintegrates and flows out as menstruational fluid. Here we can observe the difference. If in case there is a possibility of fertilization, the thickness of endometrium continues and ready to receive the embryo. It provides nourishment and disposes of waste of a developing embryo. The fertilized ovum undergoes the mitotic divisions while it moves down the ovident and finally attaches to the soft tissue of the uterus. Once attached, the embryo sinks into the soft inner uterine wall. This is called implantation of embryo. After implantation, the embryo develops into 4 membrane structures that help them to nourish, protect and support the developing embryo. They are chorion, amnion, allantois, yolk sac. Now, let us discuss about these 4 membranes little briefly. I think you can see and understand all 4 membranes in this picture. The first one, chorion. During the development of embryo, tiny finger-like projections grow from the surface of the outer membrane called chorion into the soft tissue of uterus. These tissue of the chorion and the adjacent part of the uterine tissue make up the placenta. Placenta is a tissue formed by the cells from the embryo and mother. It is formed around after 12 weeks of pregnancy and becomes an important structure for nourishment of the embryo. Under normal conditions, there is no direct flow of blood from the mother to the egg. The system of the two are separated by the thin membrane made up of cells that allow an exchange mainly by diffusion of oxygen, carbon dioxide, nutrients and waste materials. Another membrane, amnio, which grows around the embryo. The cavity within the amnio becomes filled with the fluid called amniotic fluid. The embryo develops in this fluid-filled cavity, which keeps it moist and protected from minor mechanical injuries. Allantois is another membrane of embryo. This allantois rises from the same gut from where the yolk sac rises. The edges of amnio join at the cord of allantois, which is in the form of long tube and is called umbilical cord. Umbilical cord contains the very important blood cells that connect the embryo with the placenta. It plays an important role in supplying the food materials from the mother to the child. Yolk sac encloses a fluid-filled cavity. It has no specific functions in placental mammals. The embryo develops until it is ready to born. From the third month of pregnancy, the embryo is called fetus. Pregnancy lasts for an average of 9 months or 280 days. This period is called gestation period. Only 2 cells change into millions of cells baby. This is a great journey by mother and baby. This miracle journey is known as pregnancy. Now let us see how this miracle takes place.